autistic features. It's just the way I do things and that. Yeah. So we actually had to pay private to go to see a specialist. And then he actually said, well, yes, I do have autism and things. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't go through the general practice or your GP just for
well, I did go through my GP and I got referred to some of the Capital Coast District Health Board in Porirua, you know, and met with a person, and I think I went with one of my colleagues from work, you know, and I think there was a scale of 1 to 5, you know, where do I fit on the autism spectrum? I said, I think I was about 3.5, and he said, well, there's no halves, you know. Yeah. Almost said, well, you know, you don't have autism, you know, this guy. You know.
When you say 3.5 or we don't have halves, are you talking about it's either you're on the autism spectrum or you're not?
Yeah. And so what I mean by halves, you know, there's, I think there were autism spectrum from 1 to 5 or something, the scale was, and he was almost saying, you know, where do you fit? You know, are you 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5? And I think I said I was about 3.5 or 4.5.
I had the same concept actually in my head running, like when I was trying to assess or look at my child who has autism as well. Yeah. And I am trying to gauge, like, because autism spectrum is such a wide spectrum, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to say, is he on a medium, mild, or high, very high scale? I don't know. The way we were told is that he has classic autism. I don't know what that means actually. It's just so I'm just thinking that's autism. That's And
the reason why I say that is I don't know whether you've ever seen a picture. I think it is. You know, we've all got to do the same task. I think there was a picture, you know, a cartoon picture of an elephant and a monkey together. And there's a whole row of hoops up in the air or something, you know. The monkey can climb the tree, but the elephant can't, you know. Yeah.
Is that perhaps your definition of, like, different people thinking different ways? Like, you have a monkey and an elephant, right?
Yeah. So it's almost like, I guess it's almost the scale, you know, it's almost like saying, you know, a flat, yes, and a house that's owned by myself and my family, yes.
Going back to that Inclusion International journey, what countries have you been? I know you mentioned globally almost, but can you perhaps name what's probably your top 3 countries?
Well, I mean, I've been to Nepal about 3 or 4 times, and and I've been to Bangkok about 3 or 4 times, and I've been to London a few times. So I've been to Washington, I've been to Boston, wow. I've been to Berlin, I've been to Madrid,
How did you find the travel? I mean, being representing yourself.
I found the travel quite strenuous at times, but fortunately, you know, I when I was on Inclusion International, I had different support people who supported me. I had one person for about 6 years, and then she left to do other work, and I had different people in between. So I've had people, and I'm really grateful for one of the PAs that who actually made our travel less stressful and things.
What is the most memorable activity or work you've done for Inclusion International?
Actually, working with other people with intellectual disability and things. And I remember going to a conference in Berlin, and I think I was supposed to be the third person to do the presentation. You know, we were debating who would go. And someone said, well, David, you can go first. And then, well, you know, I didn't really have much choice to say, I don't really want to go first. And I did,
And what's your experience? Are you nervous?
Wasn't nervous. I guess sometimes when doing presentations, I may be nervous afterwards. My knees might start shaking afterwards. I sometimes think, how did I go? But one of the hardest bits was because I like to use lots of sense of humour and things. And because it was translated into lots of different languages, I don't think they could understand the Kiwi sense of humour.
Even when I was new here, and there are Kiwis that I met who I never knew they were already telling jokes, and I'm like doing this poker face, like, what is that a joke? And then that's a joke, like, okay.
And I suppose, you know, in the Philippines and things, that people might tell a joke and New Zealanders might not understand.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
We've all got different ways of dealing with things, and for sometimes you've got to tell a person that they got a joke and things. And I guess some of them actually apply to people with autism. Like I remember reading a book from the IHC library once and about autism, and it said you've almost got to explain to people sometimes that you were joking, as people with autism may take things seriously.
Yes.
And an example was, watch out for mum. So in other words, if you're at home and mum's away and you've broken something or done something wrong, you send 9. I normally expect other people to be on time, but I'm not always. Yeah.
Right. And even going to work, even going to gatherings and stuff like that, you're always on time.
I wouldn't say I'm always on time, but I try and be on time. Yeah.
And then what advice do you think you can give to the community about autism and about maybe...
I think to actually take a look at themselves. I think everyone has got some form of autism in them, but they may not actually know what it is and things. By reading up on books and things, it might help people understand and learn why they act the way that they do.
Do you think in terms of neurodiversity, I heard this from someone who has autism as well, and she said that everyone is neurodiverse. Do you think that's true and correct?
Yes.
Yeah. In what sense?
Oh, just it is. I mean, we're all different diversities and things.
All right.
And I guess another way where I sometimes got autism, I do find it hard when interviewing or something to sit down and have my hands folded or something like that.
Yeah. I think that's normal. Sometimes I do this mannerism, like I also do that. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, people might say, "Hey, you've got autism. You may do that."
But sometimes, whenever I'm having conversation with my wife about my kids, and this is just us, with me and my wife trying to figure it out. And sometimes we have these autistic behaviors, which are sometimes we're steaming. Sometimes we just don't. Aware about. We're not aware about it because we're like having conversations. But come to think of, sometimes if you have a pen, you've seen some people like click pens, right? That's an autistic behavior.
Some people may class it as normal until someone points out, "Hey, that's autistic behavior."
How is your community and environment accepting you as an autistic person?
Well, they just accept me as a normal person. There are probably lots of, I am honest and say I'm a person with intellectual disability and autism. I self-disclose, and that's what I mean. And the reason why I say that is if I go to a conference, I say I'm a person with intellectual disability and autism, but the other speakers might just say their name, not disclose about who they are and things. But
do you think that's important, like disclosing that? If you have
I think it helps people to relate to things, and it also helps people to get to know. And if they know afterwards, it helps when they go up. Hey, it's really helpful for me as a person with intellectual disability and autism. I understand why you act that way and things. But I'm part of my local community. I really, I work with other people with disability and non-disabled, and I also play outdoor bowls and things. I play outdoor bowls, which are lawn bowls, and another name for lawn bowls used to be called geriatric marbles. And the reason why because older people used to play bowls and things, but now there are lots of younger people.
Right. Thank you for your time. Appreciate
thank you,
your time.
Every tangata fight Takiwātanga is different. If you fail with one strategy, don't stop. Keep moving forward. Always remember that for every failure you encounter is one step closer to your success. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, me muto te whakawa haere. Let's stop judging others. Me mahi tahi tato. Let's all work together. Kia maya, kia kaha, be brave and be strong.